I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be when your friendship is a fraud. Well, every once in a while I get a pretty good email from a guy who took the typical friendship route, thinking he'll be friends first with a girl, then once she gets to know him, then all of a sudden she'll realize she's in love. You know, exactly the way it happens in all the movies that you've seen, of course. And I got a good quote that I want to share regarding this topic. It's from Ayn Rand. And the quote says, "You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality." And guys that take the friendship route, now I'm not calling it kettle black because I used to do this shit a lot when I was younger and in my early 20s before I learned what worked. And I wasted a lot of years of my early 20s getting hung up emotionally on girls that... Because what happens is you meet a girl and maybe you don't want to reveal your interest, or maybe she's got a boyfriend so it doesn't really matter. So you figure, hey, I've become friends with this girl. And so the whole time is that your friendship's not really... In a way, you're masking your feelings and masking your true intentions, and then when you spring it on her at some later date and time, she's like, wow, I never knew that you felt this way. I mean, what happens is, in a lot of those cases, like what I did, was that I get hung up emotionally on a girl when, because here's the bottom line, is on a scale of 1 to 10, a woman's got to find you to be at least a 5 or better in her eyes in order for you to have a chance at seducing her, getting into a relationship with her, whatever it is that you want to have. But if she perceives you as a 4 and below, then it doesn't matter if you're what most people consider is better looking than Brad Pitt. It doesn't matter to that particular woman. It's never going to happen. And so guys make the mistakes, just like I did when I was younger, is they meet a girl and they only pay attention to their level of attraction and interest, and they just assume that even if she doesn't feel that way, once she gets to know him or gets to know you, then she'll think, oh, wow, what a great guy. Of course, I'm really glad we took the friendship route first. And the other flip side is when a guy gets into a situation with a girl, he starts dating her, and he screws up because he's vacillating back and forth between the friendship vibe and the lover vibe, and so she gives him the let's just be friends speech. And then he agrees to it thinking, oh, well, eventually some point in her time, or in the future, she'll change her mind. And 9 times out of 10, 99.9% of the time, that pretty much never happens. So his email starts off, he says, "Hey, Corey, I wrote you once before, but I have more to the story, so I'll explain. I met this girl on Facebook in September of 2011. Wow, that's like a year and a half ago. And I mean, that's a long time. Wow, a year and a half of your life, dude. Gone, never to get it back. I mean, in a year and a half, you could have asked out hundreds of women. Yeah, you would have gotten rejected hundreds of times, but you would have had dozens of dates by this point with lots of great women who found you attractive. And the easy thing is that when you go out with a girl who has a high level of interest, just like Adam Carolla says, it's like she starts opening the doors for you, and literally all you have to do is walk through. What I like to say is you got to not talk her out of it, in essence. But if the door starts slamming in your face, then you just walk away. So he says, things were going great, and we eventually started talking about dating. So in other words, you took the friendship route, you got to know her on Facebook, blah, 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 became her therapist, male girlfriend, all that kind of thing. And then you decided to discuss the topic of dating, which is what you were really, probably the real reason why you became her friend in the first place. You saw her picture, or you knew of her through a friend. You thought, wow, she's pretty. I'd like to get to know her, and I'll take the friendship route. Just a bad way to go. Because guys that are successful with women are direct, and they get right to the point. They don't beat around the bush. That communicates confidence when you do that. The longer you wait, the more that you communicate that you're unsure of yourself. And being unsure of yourself is a feminine quality. It's not a masculine quality. And that's why when you act that way around women, they'll become unsure, they'll lose interest, they'll act flaky, they'll cancel dates, that kind of thing. So like I said, men are direct, they get to the point, and they don't beat around the bush. And when a woman rebuffs his interest or basically shoots him down, he walks away with the attitude of, hey, it's your loss and you really feel that way. Because you gotta let go of that. You got to let go of that moment in time, because even though you might feel a desire, what you're really looking for is someone who has mutual desire hopefully high mutual desire to start out with, because that's how you want to, if you want to have a real effortless relationship, you'll be dating somebody that wants to be with you, that wants to date you, that from the moment you meet, because you're exhibiting the right body language and the right physiology, like I talk about in my book, you're exuding confidence. You're exuding alpha male leadership type of energy. And naturally, a woman is going to want to become more feminine, or I should say she'll feel more comfortable to be more feminine, more playful, and more sexy when she's in the presence of a guy who's really confident, really strong. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is look at situations where a bunch of beautiful women get around a very successful athlete or the captain of the football team. What happens? They start playing with their hair. They start acting all girly, posing, sticking their boobs out, tend to stick their ass up in the air a little bit more. And it's like women, for the most part, don't even realize that they're doing it. It's just in a way they're trying to make themselves look as visually appealing to the male as possible in order to get his attention. And so if you exude this energy, just like in the body language and physiology that I talk about in the YouTube video that I did, and I also did an article called Body Language That Attracts Women, if you exude that, you'll be exuding that leadership alpha type of energy. And women know, they can pick up on this, they can see it in the way you carry yourself and how you walk, and they'll respond to it. When they see that walk, it's not a lot of guys have it in our society. And so they notice it right away because it's dominant type behavior. And then naturally, as soon as they see that energy, they're going to start to check you out closer. And even if you're not like the ultimate best looking dude, because of the way you carry yourself, and she thinks, oh, he's kind of cute, I'd go out with him, then you got a chance. And so, like I said, it's like a year and a half, dude. A year and a half you've been interacting with this girl, and you could have gone out on dozens of dates if you'd been talking to and working on either approaching other women, getting phone numbers, making dates on the spot, just like I talk about. You could have gone on dozens of dates by now and seduced dozens of different women and had a lot of experience. But instead, a year and a half has gone by, and you got no experience, and you've been hung up on this girl, investing all of your emotional energy in that valuable year and a half of your life on nothing, on a fantasy, in essence. Something to think about. I want to jar you, shake you a little bit, and say, dude, pay attention. So he says after we started talking about dating, he says, well, I know I messed up. I was always there for her, and I would talk about her problems with her, about friends, family, etc. Pretty much her therapist. Yeah, you became like her gay male girlfriend, in essence. He says, she ended up giving me the let's just be friends speech, and like a bitch, I went along with it. Well, hey, at least you admit it. He says, that speech came in April of 2012, and now it's 2013. Holy shit, almost a year later after you got the let's just be friends speech, you're still hanging on. Dude, it's like, stop the madness. Think about what you're doing. There's so many women. You can go to the mall right now, and there are literally thousands of beautiful women at the mall that you can talk to and interact with and practice your social skills. And if you spend a couple hours, you can walk out with at least a few phone numbers and a few dates if you do what I talk about in the article I wrote, 3 different ways to seduce women. I discussed the 3 methods, and you can pick the one that's most comfortable. There's a method that I teach where you don't really have to do anything. You go about your life, you just run into women, you can give out your phone number. Women that like you will take it and they'll call you. It's amazing. It works really fucking simple. He says, I discovered your videos a month ago, and I just yesterday decided to tell her that I wasn't interested in a friendship and to give me a call if she changes her mind. Well, good for you for finally growing a set of balls and being congruent with who you are. This is the first time in a year and a half that you've known this girl that you've actually acted like yourself and communicated what you really wanted. He said, and usually when you do that, though, you don't really get a desired result. He says, she sends me a long message saying that I really hurt her and she knows somebody put me up to it and how her nephew and sister really like me and I hurt all of them. What's really going on here is obviously she's hurt and she's upset and she's mad because you're unilaterally changing the terms of your relationship, and she's losing her gay male girlfriend in essence, and she doesn't like that. And so what she's doing is she's trying to intimidate you into changing your mind and going back to what it is that she wants. And I can understand, because at the end of the day, your friendship was a fraud. You really have wanted to date her since the get-go. And now a year and a half later, she's really just finding out that that's what you really want. So he says, I naturally felt bad, so I told her all about your videos and sent her links to them, and she started saying this coach guy is an idiot and doesn't know what he's talking about. She told me to stop watching your videos, so now she and her sister are mad at me, and one of her friends deleted me from Facebook, which hurt. Well, hey, at the end of the day, dude, you're finally, for once in your life, or at least as far as this particular girl goes, you're finally standing up for yourself and what you want. Because think about it. How can you possibly meet anybody new when you're all consumed at being, obviously not only her gay male girlfriend, but all of her cousins and everybody, other female member of her family who needs somebody to vent to, and you're always all too happy to do it because you've been going the friendship route. But obviously they're upset because at the end of the day, your friendship was bogus. It was not authentic that whole period of time. And obviously they probably feel a little deceived by you as well. Like I said, this is typically what happens. This is what used to happen to me when I was in my 20s, and I used to take this approach. It's like a bad way to go. And I know you feel bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, what about you, dude? What about what you want? It's like that's the thing, is that, like I said in the quote earlier, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. You're ignoring the reality that this girl a year ago put you in the friend zone and you went along with it, hoping that things would be better. I mean, think about that. And so here we are a year later, and she's mad and she's upset. And of course she's going to say nasty things about me or whatever, because she's trying to get you to go along with what it is she wants, get your ass back in line, put your tail between your legs, and go groveling back to her. Men don't grovel, by the way. And apologize up, down, left, and right so she'll be your friend again. So what? So you can have a bad case of blue balls? I mean, seriously. Just say, hey, this is what I want. I don't want to just be your male girlfriend. It's like, I want you. I like you. I desire you. And so if you change your mind, give me a call. Have the set of balls, grow a set of balls, and walk away. I mean, at the end of the day, the strongest negotiating position in life is being able to walk away and mean it. And at the end of the day, a man who is successful in any area of his life, even if it's a negotiate, I mean, think about this. Think of if you're trying to get a job and you've got 3 other companies that want to offer you a position, and the position pays $100,000 a year. But you get the company that you really, really, really want to work for, they're only offering you $80,000. And these other 2 are great companies, but you don't really want to work for them, and they're offering you $20,000 more a year. So how do you get the guy that's only offering you $80,000 a year to come up to the other 2? Think about it. It's much easier to say, I really want to work for you guys, but we're like $20,000 apart here on compensation, and these other 2 companies are great companies. They want to hire me, and I mean, here's their employment offer. It's like, if you guys can match that, I mean, I'm in. And so you actually become more valuable as an employee or a potential employee, as opposed to the dude who's sitting at home and he's got no offers, and they offer him $80,000. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to fucking jump the chance to get the $80,000 job, and then 2 months later, when the other guys finally come through with a $100,000 offer, I mean, those are the kind of things that happen in life, and that's why it's so beneficial to have an abundance mentality, to have the attitude that, hey, if you're not in, and because at the end of the day, you want somebody to come along on your fun bus to enjoy. It's like, hey, welcome to my party. Come hang out, have fun, and hook up. In essence, that's the whole purpose of dating. And when somebody offers you friendship, it's like, hey, that's nice, I appreciate that, but I got lots of friends. I want you. I can't be hanging out with you and have to keep my hands to myself. It's like, if you change your mind, give me a call. And at the end of the day, if there's any kind of chance where she will give in and give you what you want, then she'll call you, she'll reach out to you. But if you go back to her, you're just expressing that she's a dominant one, and you, just like you said, you're being her little bitch. And it's a year and a half, dude. It's about time to step up and be a man. So if you want to get my help right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.